Yo, what's going on, guys? Chris Bonner here, Overtime Athletes. So for today's video, I wanted to talk about trunk training, right, and performance. Just like anything with performance, you guys know my take on it is definitely I want to progress from the foundational form all the way up to what's going to translate over to that athlete on the field, court, or any kind of competition, right? So I made a post recently on Instagram about anti-movement and stabilization, and I just wanted to expand on that because I got some of the questions. If you guys aren't following me on Instagram, make sure you check me out below where I post daily content. So you got to remember that I train athletes on an off season, anywhere from 2 to 6 months. And the trunk training, we want to progress. So usually what I do in phase 1 is some form of stabilization, right, across the trunk. Second phase is going to be flexion, extension, and rotation, and maybe some lateral flexion. Third phase is going to be integration, where we integrate the upper and lower halves through the trunk so that we can efficiently transfer energy, okay? So when it comes to phase 1, I wanted to discuss 4 different areas where you should be performing anti-movements, okay? The reason why we train stabilization is because the trunk in sport is not always creating movement. For instance, creating movement would be if I was a baseball player and I'm swinging, right? Now the trunk creates movement by rotating, okay? The way a movement is resisted, okay, the way trunk resists movements is, let's take a wide receiver. Let's say a wide receiver is doing an out route, okay? So let's say they explode off the line and they go ahead and pivot on a dime 90-degree angle. What's preventing the trunk from falling forward? It's all those intricate muscles down the spine that need to be turned on. Not only do you need to transfer energy to your upper half so it doesn't fall forward, but you also need to be able to transfer that energy efficiently. And the more efficient that you can transfer that energy, the more you could stop on a dime and not be taken this way and divert forces in 90 degrees. So it's important we train the trunk in a way that it resists movement and not just creates it, okay? So there's 4 different ones that you should be doing in the beginning base phase of the program. First, you should be performing anti-rotation. You could do this with a cable. Simple cable anti-rotation will support you. Next, you want to form anti-flexion. Anti-flexion you could do by carrying something out in front of you, right? Third, you want to create anti-extension, okay? So there's different varies of anti-extension movements. And then last is anti-lateral flexion. So if you're covering all those bases and you're performing exercises that will support those, that's a good base to start the foundation on, especially for younger athletes that you could build upon down the road. I hope that helps. I'll talk to you guys next time.